the separation and legal battle between popular reality star Kandi and her husband. Todd Tucker has not only stirred showbiz circles, but also taught an important lesson to ordinary women. Marriage is always made with the heart, but also with the mind. Some relationships grow stronger over time, but there are others that have been waiting for an explosion since day one. This relationship was probably one of those. According to recent reports, Todd Tucker has not only demanded full custody of the children, but he is also questioning the prenup agreement. They claim that the prenuptial agreement was signed by them under duress, meaning they were not mentally free. It was the same fear people had mentioned for years, that the Toads would challenge the deal at some stage. Todd is believed to be offering the same scenes from his reality show as evidence that Kandi asked him to sign prenup. While it's hard to say how strong this evidence will hold up in court, one thing's for sure: Kandi has the best lawyers and will fight her case vigorously. Todd, meanwhile, shared a video of himself with the kids on Instagram a few weeks ago, captioning it, "Daddy Daycare, was that a coincidence or a court photo?" The debate continues. Whether Todd actually took more responsibility for the children is a different matter, but public memory says otherwise. Kandi has previously revealed that Todd went out partying right after his daughter's birth. Kandi was often spotted with the kids while both were busy with their respective careers. How then is it possible for Toads to be completely primary caregivers? The reality is that Todd seems to be doing everything he can to get as much financial benefit as possible from the court's decision. Asking for full custody simply means that they want a share of the non-alimony, support, or capital created by Kandi. The objection to prenups is also a pointer to the same goal. This issue is no longer just about a marriage, but it shows the bigger picture, where women are more economically stronger than men, and such risks often come to light. Such marriages are called hypogamy in social terms. That is, when a woman marries a man who is not equal to her in terms of economic status, social level, or career. It is true that such stories happen to men as well, but the difference is that the burden of raising children often falls on the shoulders of women. Also, a woman faces social pressure after a failed marriage. This is why divorce laws, known alimony, and support orders came into existence, because there was a time when men left their wives destitute after divorce. Statistics also prove that women bear the primary responsibility of children during marriage and even after divorce. A disproportionate burden of housework also often falls on the woman, even if she is not employed. In such a situation, if the court ever gives a decision in favor of a woman, it will not be surprising. But if in a marriage the roles are truly reversed, that is, the man is taking care of the household, raising the children, and the woman is mostly busy outside of work, then of course the man also has a right to no alimony or full custody. But in this case, the picture is not clear. Todd's character has always been questionable, and his past behavior does not support the claim that he was an over-responsible father. Interestingly, many black women seem to stand with Todd in this situation. But on the other hand, a large number of these women are saying that Mama Joyce were always right. Mama Joyce called Todd an opportunist from the Startan today. Every word he says seems to be true. Her criticism was harsh at times, but perhaps she was seeing things that Kandi overlooked in love. In fact, most mothers and elderly women who do so not out of hostility or jealousy, but out of experience. They have seen the world. They have recognized the patterns of relationships. Not every mother is wrong. Some mothers really want to protect their daughter from getting stuck in a relationship that will cause pain down the road. Such was the case with Kandi. Today, she is alone, fighting lawsuits, and may have to give a large portion of her earnings to someone who doesn't deserve it. All this might not have happened if she had remained unmarried. She could still be the mother of her children, but with a man who would be her true partner, not a mere breadwinner. So here's a clear message to black women and all women around the world. Kandi's life has always been an example of success, struggle, and dedication. She is a woman who, through her hard work, intelligence, and strong will, has achieved position, fame, and made a name that people are proud of. But there are certain phases of life where even success makes one feel weak. Relationships are built and broken based on these weaknesses. Kandi's marriage also proved to be a combination of the same weaknesses, hopes, and blind love. When Todd came into her life, he seemed to be a strong, understanding, and emotionally supportive partner. But with time, it became clear that the luxuries of his life, the shadow of his success, and his capital were more important to him than Kandi. This was where the true test of love began. And unfortunately, Todd failed the test. When a man marries a woman who is much more successful than him, the balance in the relationship automatically starts to change. This balance can be maintained only when both are mentally and emotionally mature. But that was the problem with Todd. He never took the relationship with the seriousness it needed at the time. He often showed up at parties, spending time with friends, and neglecting Kandi's emotional needs. Then comes the issue of children. Children are not only a source of joy in a home, they also become a real liability in the relationship. Kandi always spent time with the children despite her busy schedule. They see her as an active, responsible, emotionally strong mother. In contrast, Todd's presence has always been unstable, frivolous, and limited. In such a situation, his sudden claim of being the primary caregiver seems like an attempt to influence the court. A picture like Daddy's Daycare posted on Instagram may seem innocent, but it could actually be part of a larger strategy. Courts typically consider a parent's lifestyle, time, commitment, and continued responsibility when making child custody decisions, not a couple of social media pictures. This is why people object to Todd's claim. But the most important question is, why object to prenups at this time? If there really was pressure at the time of signing, why didn't Todd bring it up immediately after the wedding? Why remain silent for years? And now when the situation of separation came up, how did this claim suddenly come up? The answer is pretty obvious: financial gain. When interest replaces love in any relationship, the relationship is already doomed. Every step Todd seems to take is in that direction. Whether it's requesting full custody or challenging the prenup, Kandi put her heart into this relationship, gave her time, saved her home, and loved. But love is not always enough. Sometimes the person on the other side wants benefits, not love. And once they get the benefits, they try to get more. The big thing here is that many women in the society go through such examples. But still, they continue to give opportunities to men who are not equal to them, nor are they capable of walking with them. In the longing for love, in the dream of settling down, she forgets that not every man is a life partner. Some men are just partners. That is why older women, mothers, and experienced family women are not hostile when they explain to their daughters. But they see the dangers that spread later. Mama Joy's example is there for all to see. She was tough, emotional, sometimes over the top, but her concern for her daughter was just right. They sensed Todd's intentions earlier in the day, but Kandi dismissed it as love. Today, as everything is coming out, every file is being opened. Every incriminating document is in front of the court. The fact that Kandi was the loving party in this marriage, while Todd was the benefiting party, is also coming out. Ultimately, it will be up to the court to decide who the children will go to, whether the prenup will continue or not, who will pay child support, and how much. But despite these decisions, one thing is clear. This relationship is broken, and it was based less on love and more on selfishness. Kandi's life has reached a point where not only the relationship is breaking, but also the countless trusts, dreams, hopes, and sacrifices that she has held in her heart for years. Marriage isn't just a paper contract, it's also an unwritten covenant between two people. But when one party starts playing with this commitment, making it a source of interest, then the soil of love starts changing, and the roots of the relationship start drying up. That's what happened to Kandi. Breaking up is not an easy decision. This decision is never due to lack of love, but due to the loss that the soul has to endure in spite of love. Kandi is a woman who thought every step, made every decision responsibly, and always put her family first. But today she is at a point in her life where she has to stand in court against a person she once trusted completely. Todd's attempt to outlaw the prenup is actually the first arrow in the war that directly wounds Kandi's existence. What can Be a greater insult to a woman than that someone she trusts wants to take away her earnings, her legacy, and her life's struggle. Todd's claim that he was signed under pressure is as weak as a character who tries to make himself look bigger by living in the shadow of a successful woman. When such cases are heard in court, not only the evidence is looked at, but also ethics. And in the world of ethics, Todd seemed to be far behind. Kandi never benefited financially from the relationship. She never looked down on Todd. She always talked about love, cooperation, respect, and equal relationship. In contrast, Todd's actions testify to the fact that he is a man who came to make his place in the veil of love. But when the opportunity presented itself, that love became his weapon. If we look in the face of reality, it is clear that Todd's aim is not to gain custody, but to gain financial gain through it. Because how can a man who has had examples of an unstable lifestyle throughout his marriage, against whom there is evidence of irresponsibility, suddenly become such a responsible father? This custody battle is really a battle for alimony and money, and to deny that is to deceive yourself. Kandi is a working woman, busy, but that doesn't mean she's away from the kids. She has been seen with children at every moment, every function, every important occasion. Todd, on the other hand, often appears on social media as if he is on an image campaign. But the reality of social media and the reality of home are always different. This story is not limited to Kandi and Todd. This is a small piece of a bigger picture, a fact that is repeated over and over again in the Black community. Here, successful women often fall for men who fall far short of their standards, hoping that love will change everything. Or perhaps because they feel that society only respects couples, not single women. But this thought has harmed thousands of women. This is why elderly women, mothers, aunts, and grandmothers repeatedly explain that love is blind, but it does not blind. She recognizes men who come not for love, but for interest. The example of Mama Joyce is the best proof of this. She wasn't perfect and her style wasn't perfect, but her insights were 100% accurate. This is a tough time for Kandi. But hard times don't break a woman, they make her again. Kandi is where she is today because of her hard work, not because of any man. So for her, this is not a defeat, but a new beginning. She now sees more clearly than ever who was with him, who was against him, who loved him, and who loved his wealth. This recognition makes a woman strong.